Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're doing great over here. We've got a little rain going on outside. It's cooled off a little bit, but we got some humidity we're dealing with. But anyway, so let's get into this. This is a brand new project, one that I'm really excited about, probably as excited as one I've done for a long time. So when I was in LA at the 4Ds Gary V thing over there, after the 4Ds was all over, we did an alumni meeting, and I met lots of great people, but one in particular, we kind of hit it off. His name is Habib, and he runs a company, a huge company, where he sells nail supplies, and his company is Young Nails. And I am actually making this for him as a surprise. I'm going over, Vicki and I are going to go over, and we're going to actually have a meeting with him and do some strategies and that kind of thing. But anyway, super good guy. You guys, if you guys gotta meet this guy. He's just awesome. Anyway, so I'm going over and I'm making this sign. The other thing that that excites me about this is I've had this piece of wood literally sitting in here back in the corner for, gosh, it's been maybe a year, maybe a little bit more. I got this from Andrew over at Reclaim Secrets in Las Vegas. And I've been waiting for a special project to use a piece of this. So I cut off a chunk of this board. But check this out. This is some of the most spectacular grain that I've ever seen. I've never seen anything like this. So when I was in Andrew's shop, I saw this. I just walked by it, and it was it's called Fire Box Elder. So it's a box elder, but it's got the natural red streaks through it, and that's a natural occurrence. I don't know how it happens. It's a nature thing. So this is a piece that I cut off of a big slab that I have, but you can see that it runs all the way through. So what I did yesterday, actually, I surfaced this thing down. It kind of had a twist in it because it still had some moisture. It got kind of a twist in it, so I had to use the router sled, and that's what some of these little burn marks are. I had to flatten it down on both sides. It's still like 2.5 inches thick, but fortunately, I'm going to be delivering this one and not shipping it. That's another, so I won't have to pay $150 to ship it. But I'm super excited about this because this is just something that I've been, dreaming of making a sign out of this stuff for a long time. And I just, I just think it's going to look really spectacular. So on this one, I'm really showcasing the board. I'm not going to use hardly any black on this at all, only on the letters. So we'll kind of get into that. So my next step is I'm going to remove all the bark because the bark is kind of loose. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it. And then I've got some fills that I got to do, some little checks and different things, some fills, and I'm going to get into that process on the next scene, and I'm going to do something different that I've never done on fills before. So hang with what? Okay. So yeah, I did show it. Okay. So anyway, so this is what we're going to do, and we'll kind of get into it step by step. But first process, I'm going to come back and show you how I'm going to do these fills. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've got kind of an interesting thing going on this board. We've got some wormholes going on, but we've also got some little cracks, some little checks. I want to fill these little checks with a different color than I want to do the wormholes. But so I want the wormholes and the little knot holes and stuff, I want it to be colored the medium brown. But if I use just the medium brown, it'll take forever for it to fill up. So what I'm going to do, and what we did right here, is we actually fill that hole almost to the top with the gap filler, the thick, and then we let that dry, and then we put the brown on top. That's what we're going to do here. So I've got the little spout on. So if this works like it just did previously, what I really want to do is just fill that gap. You can see that
knot's loose, huh?
That little knot's loose, but it ain't going to be for long. So I'm going to let that soak in just for a minute to kind of drain down. Now I'm going to spray it. Let that set for a minute. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just a little bit. I just want to try and keep it from the medium from draining down too far. Now I'm going to put the gap filler in the hole here. This was going to be probably the trickiest one because I really want that hole filled up to the point where the brown doesn't drain down a lot. I'm going to let it dry.
So your toothpick is for?
The toothpick is just to make sure, that the stuff is down in there. See, that's
already...
There's
no bubbles.
Yeah, and there's no bubbles. That's already dry. See, I'm not sure. That almost looks like it
went through.
It went through too much. So now I got to put a little bit more in there. And maybe I have to spray it a little sooner. Now what I want to do, now I want to put the brown on top of the clear.
The whole point is trying to keep as true to the color of the board as possible.
And I'm going to put a little brown in here. So you can see the thing that I like about the brown is it's medium and it's brown, but it doesn't have the same aspects as the gap filler with the thick. Even at that looks like it almost, like, I'm not sure. See, that's still way too deep. I've got to fill that up. So you guys are learning with me. So if I can solidify that before it drains down. Yeah, I don't want it to do that. I have to do the hand signal at the same time I do the sound. Anyway, so that's my attempt. And then these things here, I'm going to do those different. These here. So what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and it looks like now, it looks like that. See, that's solidified. Now I should be able, theoretically, I should be able to put brown right on top of that. And that should give us that basically what we did over here, which is you look at that we did the gap filler underneath and we did the brown on top. Yep. So what we're going to do off camera, guys, that kind of gives you an idea. We went ahead and pre-marked all the different places where we got to have brown. We've put circles. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, finish all this whole process up off camera, and then and sand it, and then we'll come back and we'll do the second part of our fill. That's where these little checks and cracks are. All right, guys. So all of my fills came out good. These little wormholes, that one, all of these little fills came out perfect. A couple of them went down a little bit. I had to redo it and then sand them off, but it's pretty much all the brown, the medium brown fill is all done now. So now what I want to do is I want to figure out what I'm going to do with these checks and these cracks. There's some really tiny ones here, but some pretty good sized ones here. Now this one, before I realized how I really wanted to do it, I put some medium brown in there. I wish I hadn't done that, but I did leave most of it. Most of it is open still, and this is what I figured out yesterday. I did a little test piece. This is the color, the pigment, Imperial Red by Black Diamond. And normally I wouldn't be using this, but this turns out this is a really cool, or a really close match to the streaks that are in the board. So what I'm going to do, and I've seen this done on Instagram too. Huh?
That's a lot.
That's a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So I'm just going to put my color down in there, in those cracks. Then I'm going to put my medium star bond on top of it. Oh, where's my spray? Oh, there's my accelerator. And we're going to see how that's going to work. Kind of balling up, huh?
Now take your stick and now move it around a little bit.
Move it around? What do you mean?
Make sure it's mixed up.
Now I'm going to spray it. Kind of makes the pigment fly a little bit, the powder. But I think that's going to work out pretty well. I did a little piece over at the other side. I should have done this all before I sprayed that. I know, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Try and shove it down into that crack. You can hear the clock ticking. All right, now let's see if we can get some. I think that's it. That look all right?
Mm-hmm. Bring some more of your color over.
All right. Okay, so that's my idea. I'll come back. We want to sand this off?
Sand it and then come back.
Yeah, I'm going to sand this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes and then sand it and come back and show you what it looks like. All right, so that's what it looks like when it's sanded off. I kind of like that. That kind of matches the red streak or the pink streaks in the rest of the board. So now what I'm going to do is there's some other little tiny places. That was definitely the biggest one, but there's a couple other little places that we'll do off camera. I want to do this over here that we'll do off camera, and then we'll come back, we'll do that, sand it, come back and show you what the completed board looks like. Then we can move on to the next step. Hey guys, all right, it is time to get the layout done on this. So what we've done is this is the actual mock-up of the layout. Now if you want to reference another video that I just did like a week ago, was Jess's sign, Crow Creek Designs, which is number 399 I think. So I'm going to do here exactly what I did on that video, but I'm going to go over it again just in case you guys missed that one. So I make up a mock-up, a full-size mock-up, put it on the board, and then it gives me an idea of what I've got. So another thing that I did on here is I made a big circle. Now I cut this with my laser. This is a 13.5-inch circle, but you could do it with cardboard or whatever if you wanted to do the same kind of process. So if we come down here, you'll see I've got, again, this is my mock-up, the same size as my actual layout. So I've printed this now with freezer paper, and again, go check out 399, and this freezer paper is stuff we use on the regular basis. I coated it with silicone spray, then ran it through the inkjet printer, and then I actually pieced them together. That masking tape won't make any difference, I don't think. And then I put it in place. So what I did was I used my mock-up for making my my lines, knowing exactly where I wanted it to be. That told me if I put this on there and then put tape down, it told me it should be exactly where I want it to be. So all we're going to do now is use something with a semi-sharp edge and see if we can get that to transfer over. Now again, another thing that I did off camera, and I can't remember whether I said I was going to, I surfaced it down. So this is all surfaced down. Ooh, we got a little bump there, tore the paper. I don't think that's going to matter for our image or not. I don't think so. We'll see in a minute. But so I surfaced the board down. I don't know if I mentioned that before. I had to run it through my router sled because it had a little bit of a twist to it. So fortunately, I had a lot of thickness to play with, so that really didn't matter at all. And then I actually cleaned up both edges and removed most of the bark. There's a little bit of bark left on there, but I like the way it looks. So anyway, so I did that, and then I kind of eased the edge a little bit so it's not such a sharp edge here. I want that that finish to be able to wrap around there. So now we've got these little tiny letters down here. Now again, much like I talked about on video 399, we just made this printout literally about 15 minutes ago. So you just don't want a long time in between the time you actually print it out till you transfer it on the board. Now we'll see what this looks like. Sometimes with this overlap, you've got a little bit of an overlap there. You got to press a little bit harder on that to make sure that that transfers. Fortunately, this is all pretty much straight lines. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think there's a little bit of I could go in there a little bit more. A couple places that I could concentrate on a little bit more. But the big thing is the little letters. Those really came out nice. I really like the way those came out. Yeah, and this is all pretty much straight lines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my square and make sure that these lines are squared up to the edge. And you can see where it did kind of skip in here, but it doesn't matter. Those are going to be outset letters. These are all going to be outset letters, and this is all going to be background. Actually, it looks pretty darn good. I don't have any problems with that at all. But I can go back and darken that up if I want to. Look how that darkened that up. Nice right there. Look at that. Yeah, so I can do that. All right, I think that's good enough. If I need to clean it up a little bit, I will. But I think it looks good just the way it is. So, we're running long, guys. What a shocker. Anyway, so we're going to leave it right there. On the next video, we're going to come back and we'll get all the carving done on the next video. Hopefully, just one more video, we'll get the carving done and the finish on it on the same video. I'm hoping. I don't know. We'll see. But that's what my hope is. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful for you. We'd love it for you if you haven't subscribed yet. If you'd subscribe, give us a thumbs up. And give us as many shares as you can. We'd love that. If you think that you know somebody that this would help, we'd love it if you'd spread the word for us. If you do subscribe, we'd love it if you click that little bell icon. Make sure that you click that so you get notifications when we do videos 3 times a week. That's my normal spiel. We're on Instagram every day, Make a Wood Sign. We're starting to do more stuff. You'll see us soon on Pinterest. We're kind of working out the details there. If you have any questions, email me directly, eric@makeawoodsign.com, or you can, I'm posting on Facebook every day now too. So if you haven't seen me on Facebook lately, there's tons of stuff going on over there. I'm putting clips on there, trying to put clips from videos and posts on there every day. So every Friday night, 6 p.m.? 6 p.m. Arizona time, we do a live Q&A with me and Dad and Vicky. So we'll be doing that pretty much every Friday night. I guess that's it. I'm out of words. We'll see you guys. See you on the next one. We love you. Bye-bye.